Welcome to Quikkly's first video on how to integrate smart scannable codes into your application using our iOS SDK. Scannable codes are a great way to drive interactions from offline channels or digital channels into your application through scanning. You'll have seen examples of this out there in the real world already. Snapchat, for example, use scannables called snap codes, which allow users to connect to each other via scanning. Facebook also uses this technique within Facebook Messenger to also connect users via scanning, and Twitter have also adopted this approach using QR codes to allow users to connect to each other through scanning. Of course, scannables can be used for a lot more than just connecting users together. They can power person-to-person payments, sharing of content, purchasing products online, sharing music, all sorts of things. It's really up to you how you want to use scannables within your own product, and luckily Quikkly has the platform to enable just that. So the best place to start is through our website https://quikklycodes.com, where you'll find lots of great info on scannables and the Quikkly platform and the concepts, as well as links to our other portals such as our blog and most importantly our developers portal. So as soon as you land on our developer portal, you'll be taken to our Getting Started page, which gives you the step-by-step instructions on what you need to do to get set up and create your code and integrate into the app. So the first place to go after logging in and creating an account would be My Applications. In here you can see I've got a bunch of applications already, and I've created a new one called Test App 1. In here you're going to need to give your app a name, an iOS bundle ID. If you're using Android in the future, you'll be able to put a package ID in there and any domains that you might use if you wish to use the web APIs. Once you've hit save on that, you will get an API key at the top, and you just need to copy and paste that, as I'm doing here, into some kind of text pad to save for later. Now we have our API key. Next step, as you can see, is to integrate the SDK. There's a couple of things that will help with that. So first, if we head over to our GitHub page by clicking the iOS SDK link, you'll be able to see on here that we have the instructions for how to set up the SDK within your own application. There are instructions for installation via CocoaPods, manual, and also a little bit of information on Objective-C, as we support both Objective-C and Swift. What you can see here is our sample project that we have. So if you scroll back up in GitHub, and you'll see a samples folder, and in there's demo samples. Now if you've cloned this repository, which you're welcome to do because it's free and public, then you will get this demo project and you can open that within Xcode. So that's in iOS SDK and samples. So if I go back to Xcode now, and we've got the project open, this is just a very simple view controller. You can see how it just gives you an overview of the various code components. And this demo app will launch an application with tab view controller, whereby you can launch a scanner or you can view a rendered code within the app. Very simple app, but it's great to kind of run it and try things out, and just so you can see exactly what's involved and what you can do within an application. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a new project because we'd like to start from scratch. So if we just go to File and New, we'll create a new Xcode project here. Start with a single view application because we're just going to try the scanner out for today. Give your application a name, whatever you decide in here. So I'm just going to call my app Swift Test for now because we're going to try the Swift version out. Now I'll do a video for Objective-C a little later. I'm going to keep the com.quikkly.test organizational identifier, and you can see the bundle identifier there has my app test, so we'll update the API key later. And we'll create that in a demo folder. And there you can see that we have a new project set up, nice and fresh, ready for us to start integrating. First things for us to do is to initialize the pods. So we'll navigate into the terminal window into the demos folder, into where we've created our app in the root, simply just type pod init here, factory run. Now we want to do pod install and set up the various workspaces. We'll do an update as well. And you can see the structure of the project's changed. We've now got the pods with some frameworks in there, but we don't really want to be using this. So what we need to do is launch the workspace instead. Now we've got the workspace loaded, we can see the pod file. So what we need to do is add our dependency in here. So if we go back to the developer portal, you can see we've got the Quikkly Git repo there, which will allow us to, well, that's our dependency. So we're going to copy and paste that in. And then unfortunately Quikkly doesn't support bitcode, so just to ensure compatibility and bitcode is switched off, we need to copy and paste this snippet here. This literally just disables bitcode. Bitcode support is coming, but it's not currently supported by our snapshot. So we should also make sure that we turn it off in the project settings as well within the target. So you can do that within build settings, search for bitcode and set the target to no. The next thing we need to do is set our deployment target. Now I have an old iPhone 5 which is on iOS 9 for testing reasons, so what I can actually do is set our deployment target actually all the way back to 8.0, and that's how far back Quikkly's SDK will support. I'll make sure I've selected my iPhone at the top because the simulator doesn't support the camera preview, so we obviously need a device to test out the scanning. And now I'm just going to install the Quikkly dependency. So back to the terminal window, type pod install, and that installs everything, and we'll do a pod update as well to make sure everything is pulled down. Okay, so that's now downloading. And once it's downloaded, it switches back. So here we are, we've got the basic application set up. You've got your delegate, you've got your view controller, storyboard and various other bits. What we actually need to do now is pull in the binaries, so the Quikkly framework. So if we go back to our general settings within our target, and I'll just make this a bit bigger so we can see, we need to add the Quikkly framework to our embedded binaries. That will pull in the core module, the Quikkly module, and all of the other various dependencies inside the framework to allow you to now start using Quikkly. It's relatively simple to do, so if you head into your project settings, general, and then at the bottom you've got embedded binaries, hit add, and then you'll find the Quikkly framework, and then hit the OK button, and that will add it in for you. Okay, so it's time to integrate. So let's head back to our app delegate. From here we can integrate the Quikkly module by importing it. So navigate to your app delegate, and then we'll type import and Quikkly, which will bring in the core module. And then we're going to insert our API key in the did finish loading with options callback. So you type quikkly.api key. And remember that we copied and pasted that, so it's either on your clipboard, or if you go to your text editor that you've used to store it, or wherever you've saved your API key, then we will grab it from there. Once we've pasted this in, we've then initialized the Quikkly SDK within our application. Okay, so that's pasted in. Now we want to implement the scanner first, which is the purpose of this video. So we're going to go to our view controller, and what we need to do is import Quikkly here, and then we need to change the base class of our view controller to scan view controller, and that will give us access to the callbacks and the various methods that we need to be able to handle a scan result, which is the simplest integration of Quikkly. The main method we're interested in overriding, the main callback, is the function for the scan view did detect scannable. So we need to start with an overriding the function, scan view did detect scannable. So this method is a callback which bubbles up from the scan view contained within the scan view controller, and it's responsible for passing back the numeric result of any scannable and codes detected for the Quikkly formats within the camera preview. It wraps all of that up for you, so it initializes the preview, captures a frame, sends them to the detector, and passes the results back up through this callback. The object passed back in scannables is an array of scannable objects. Now, scannable is what we call our detected codes, and that contains properties on numeric references, i.e. the encoded number, and various other data such as the skin and the template that has been detected and other things. And we will detail more of those in future videos. They're not a concern right now. So to be able to get hold of the scannable that's been detected, we need to iterate through the scannables array. Start by grabbing the first scannable. We need to assign that to a scannable object. And with that first object, we can just do something simple, such as log out the detected number. So if I go to print scannable dot value here, and let's give it something nice, so let's put it in a nice message so that it appears in the log window. Okay, so we'll just say found scannable value, and we'll use a simple string formatting on that to piece that in. Oh yeah, I need to change that from print F to print because that's obviously not right. There we go, and there we go. That's it integrated. So when we detect a code, we'll be able to see it on the log out the number that we've detected inside the output window within Xcode. So now we need to test this. So if we head back to the sample code editor, which you can find as the second menu option down under Get Started, and in here, this is where you'll generally design your code that you want to use within your application. So you can see we've got a variety of templates, and I would encourage you to kind of dive through them and play with them. You can change the colors, you can change the layout style. We support equalizer effects, top and bottom, even a Twitter-based logo there, and various different things. So we can upload our own kind of custom images if we wish, and using the controls underneath we can customize our code. If you change the number, you can see the number encoding inside the dots changes as well as we go. What we can also do is enter a URL here, which will after we've hit generate, use our backend APIs to create a code for us to test. Now in the Quikkly app, if you were to scan that with the code with our app, it would open the website, the browser associated with bbc.co.uk. What you can see there is a number or URL that's been returned from our backend, and that's the encoded number in the dots. So we're going to use this now to test our scanner. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to fiddle around here, and we're going to reset back to the squid base one, and you can see that the number has gone back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's all we need to test it with. So I'll start up the scanner, hold it over there. In the background, what you can't see within Xcode is it's logging all those numbers out. There you go. Can you see it's detected all of the numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Brilliant. So there we have it. In less than 15 minutes, we've integrated Quikkly's SDK. We can support all of those formats of scannable that you can see on there in the template chooser, and we have detected a code successfully, and that's as basic as it gets, the hello world of Quikkly. Hopefully you've been able to follow that quite well and it's fairly clear, but the next step is really to get to our GitHub repo and again have a look at the sample code, pull that down, have a play with it, and explore the next set of features. So how can we generate scannables, our own scannables within the app for our own display? You can see above that's what we've just done, the detecting the scannables. Have a look at those snippets. They are all contained within the sample application and all relatively easy to get going with. The next round of videos will cover just that. So thank you very much for your time. Please check out quicklycodes.com, developers.quickly.io, and our GitHub repo quickly/iOS-SDK. Thank you very much.